Imagine studying every day for 3 to 5 hours, sitting at your desk without taking breaks, consistently checking your phone, sitting in the same spot, and going over the same notes again and again. Do you really call that studying? I have read tons of books, listened to countless podcasts, and watched way too many videos on how to study. Eventually, I realized I have been doing it all wrong, and that everything I thought was studying was actually a huge waste of time. When we start school or university, we are expected to study every day, every week, or for some, cram all night before an exam. But here's the catch. School and university never really teach us how to study effectively. Most of us don't even stop to question whether our study strategies are actually working. We just keep grinding away day after day until we burn out. But what if I told you that this video will completely change the way you study? Studying is challenging, and for most of us, it is something we'd rather avoid. Giving a choice between studying and playing a game, many of us would choose the game because playing games bring more pleasure and makes us happy, while studying doesn't actually offer the same kind of enjoyment. But what if you could make studying fun? Sit somewhere and write down what you can do to make studying more funner for yourself. Imagine joining friends who are studying too. Not only could you ask them questions when you are stuck, but you could also explain what you have learned on them, a method that has been proven to reinforce your own understanding. Studies show that when you teach someone else, it actually strengthens your memory and comprehension of material. Also, discussing topics with friends can open up new perspectives you haven't considered. Beyond that, having a study with friends make the experience more social and less isolating, which can boost your motivation. There are several researchers that suggest studying in groups can reduce stress, increase accountability, and boost focus. What if you don't have to study in the same place for hours on end? And instead of sitting in the same spot all day, why not visit a library or a coffee shop? Changing your study environment can have a huge impact on your motivation and focus. When you move to a different location, it can refresh your mind, make studying feel less monotonous, and even improve your concentration. Plus, being in a new setting, especially one designed for productivity like a library that other people are studying too and you're studying, it's gonna give you that sense of satisfaction and give you motivation to go ahead and study more. It's better all the time that you figure it out for yourself what is the best place, a library, a coffee shop, or at home somewhere that no one can bother you. Set clear goals. When you sit down to study, don't just dive in without a plan. Start each session with a specific goal in mind. For example, decide if you're going to master a particular concept or solve a set of practice problems. When you sit down to study, don't just dive in without a plan. Start each session with a specific goal in mind. For example, decide if you're going to master a particular concept, complete a chapter, or solve a set of practice problems. Having a clear objective not only keeps you focused, but also gives you a sense of accomplishment when you are achieve it. At the end of the day, you can look back and remind yourself that you actually did something meaningful. This reflection brings a satisfying sense of accomplishment and a great feeling of progress, which boosts your motivation for the next study session. When you don't have a fixed plan for what you want to do, you might find yourself unable to accomplish anything. Also, you could become overwhelmed with too many options, leaving you unsure about what you should focus on. Eliminate distractions. Let's talk about those phone notifications. Every time your phone buzzes or dings, it pulls your attention away from your studies. This consistent switching between tasks disturbs your concentration and make it harder to get into the focus state. Researchers shows that it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain focus after an interruption. So if you're getting interrupted frequently, you're losing a lot of time just trying to get back on the track. Your brain is like a computer. It can only handle so many processes at once. When you're studying and get distracted by notification or social media apps, your brain has to consistently shift the gears. This multitasking isn't as sufficient as you might think. It leads cognitive overload, which means you're not progress or retain information as effectively as you should do. Using distraction blocking apps can help you to create a focus environment. Apps like Forest or Focus Well, these gonna help you to focus on the specific time that you should concentrate and block all of the notification from social media during the periods that you know that you need to concentrate a lot on the tasks that they are deeply want your concentration. And create for yourself a dedicated study time where you're less likely to be interrupted. One of the most interesting technique that I gonna use all the time, and also it may help you if you're gonna use it, and that technique is Pomodoro Technique. Use Pomodoro Technique. If you don't know what's Pomodoro Technique, then Pomodoro Technique is a time management method designed to boost productivity and reduce burnout. It involves breaking your phone into short, focused intervals called Pomodoros, typically lasting 25 minutes followed by a short break. You may wonder how it works. Then set a timer for 25 minutes. Choose a task you would like to work on and then set 25 minutes timer for that. Then during this time, you are not allowed to do anything else. Just you need to focus solely on the task without any interruption and finish that 25 minutes working on that specific task that you set for yourself. And the second step that you need to do here is to work with full focus. Dive into all of your tasks with full concentration. Avoid checking your phone, emails, or anything that is disturbing you. This goal is to immerse yourself fully into the work and just do what it needs to be done for 25 minutes. And then after 25 minutes, you need to take 5 minutes break. This 5 minutes break is the time that you need to give time for your brain to recharge and also be relaxed. Repeat the cycle after you're done with all of your tasks during the day, which is gonna help you to focus and also finish all of your tasks during the day. And the last thing that helped me a lot to study during the day, and maybe it's gonna help you too, it's active recall. Active recall is a study technique that involves actively retrieving information from memory rather than passively reviewing notes. It's a powerful method to enhance your memory, retention, and understanding. You might ask yourself how it's work. The first thing that you need to do is to review material. Begin by studying your notes or reading the relevant material to get a foundation understanding, and then quiz yourself. After studying, close the notes, try to recall the information from memory, ask yourself questions related to the material, and attempt to answer them without looking at your notes. This is going to help you to remember the information for a long period of time, and also it's going to help you to remember everything so fast. You can use here flashcards. Create flashcards with question on one side and on another side the answer of that questions. Test yourself regularly using these flashcards to reinforce your knowledge. It's gonna help you a lot to understand them fast. Explain out loud. Try to explain the concept to yourself or someone else as if you're teaching them. This forces you to organize your thoughts and solidify your understanding. There are a lot of ways that active recall is gonna help us, like enhance our memory. Actively retrieving information from memory strengthens the natural concentration, making it much more easier to digest and also recall the information in the future. After reading a chapter from your textbook, close the book and try to summarize the key point from the memory. Use flashcards to test yourself on important terms and concepts. If you struggle with a particular question, go back on your notes to review and take action. There are tons of ways that you can study, but figure out which one is work for you the best. You can try a lot of techniques which I said in this video. For a few days you can try them and see if they are really working for you. Then you can implement all of the rules for your future studying sessions. If this video gonna be helpful for you, then don't forget to like it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and until next video, bye bye.